It is no surprise that we are already seeing precious metals prices moving, mainly in part due to the presidential election. But is this election going to cause a precious metals surge? And should you buy now? Well, there's a very interesting interview that was done the other day, November the 2nd. Triple digit silver price is a question of when, not if, says analyst. I'm just going to play this for you and obviously give you my commentary. But I'll be honest with you, I'm typically a little bit skeptical of these types of interviews because mainly in part due to the fact that they are all trying to sell something or push a certain agenda. However, I do find this interview to be rather informative, and there are some points made within this interview that I do see the potential for triple digit silver. Yes, I'm actually saying that for the first time on the channel, but there are a couple of reasons as to why that is, and so I'm just going to play this for you right now.
The editor of Silver Stock Analyst, and he says once this election is behind us, we could possibly see silver prices reach those triple digits. So how? He joins me today. Garrett, nice to see you. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Daniela, nice to see you again. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for accepting the invitation. Happy to talk silver with you today. I read with great interest your latest installment of your newsletter, where you say there's one candidate for silver. Let's talk about your thoughts here.
Yep. I'm not necessarily political. I'm referring to, being a silver investor, what's best for silver, not necessarily our economy. And that one candidate, is a Democrat, and it's Joe Biden, because, if you look at his policies with that new Green Deal or that Joe Biden's new Green Deal, they want to spend $100 trillion, or, Joe Biden wants to spend $2 trillion. That's a tremendous amount of money redoing our energy infrastructure. And a lot of the energy infrastructure, they want to move it towards solar. Solar is only about 10% of our nation's power right now. They want to move it to 50% over the next 3 years if Biden wins. And in each solar panel, they're 1.5 meters, the big ones you see. There's 20 grams of silver in each one. Now, 20 grams of silver is 0.6 of an ounce of silver. And, if they do that, it's going to be, they want to add 500 million additional panels. That's, 300 million ounces. And then you have China on top of that. China wants
300 million ounces of silver to be used in solar paneling. That is a staggering amount of silver. It's no surprise to us. We know typically if a Democratic president is in office, we know that there is more spending, and that typically causes metal prices to surge. However, this is like the first time we are seeing some real specifics as it relates to the energy sector, and how a potential Democratic president such as Joe Biden would actually cause a surge in precious metals pricing.
to move towards solar also. They have 639 million solar panels as an installed base in China. They want to grow that 10x over the next few years. So yes, Biden's going to be good, but this whole push towards green energy, it's great for the solar industry and it's great for silver.
So there you have it. Not only are they referring to America, but China looking to multiply their energy program by 10 times with solar. So that is just a massive, massive undertaking, and that's a lot of silver.
Okay, so I guess 2 points there. Well, what happens if the Republicans, keep control of the Senate then? Because how would the Democrats push this through Congress?
Yeah, either party, they're still going to be spending tremendous amounts of money. Irregardless of who's in power. That next stimulus bill, the $2 trillion one that's kind of on hold right now, that's going to be coming through, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat.
So there you also have another kind of like a reference to the fact that it doesn't necessarily matter which political party necessarily, especially with this $2 million spending bill, the stimulus package, that is also going to send this precious metals market surging.
and you can expect two more stimulus deals over the next upcoming year. And that's the thing that really powers silver. The extra demand is nice. The solar demand is going to continue, and then also with the demand, silver's used to make all the electronics that we use.
Mhm.
All your cell phones, all your automobiles, all your flat screens. It's all uses silver, and that's not going to slow down anytime soon. So, the trend towards increase of increase of usage of silver is going to continue. But either party is going to spend a tremendous amount of money,
Right.
and we're not necessarily
So,
concerned about
so
that.
Garrett, yes. So Joe Biden has gone on the record saying he's committed up until 2050 to invest in solar energy,
Mhm.
with the Green New Deal or whatnot. But the question is, could there not be a substitute for silver? Because I don't know if you crunch numbers, but how much would it cost per solar panel to use silver? You said how much silver in each?
6/10 of an ounce.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. It's called thrifting within the industry. As the price of silver goes up, you start finding substitutes. You can use copper, you can use other base metals, but they don't have the conductivity that silver does. Silver has, the best conductivity out of any single metal, and that's why it's used in the electronics industry. And when I say used in the electronics industry, it's all for those. It's a lot of it's silver solder that are to create the connections between the wires on all the panels and computers and cell phones and automobiles.
So Garrett, that said, I get it. You love silver. You've been a big advocate of silver. So do we look? Do you like physical, holding physical? I know you like the mining stocks. Do you like a mix of both? How do you invest in silver?
Well, I am the editor of Silver Stock Analyst, right? So I'm pretty focused on the silver miners, the equities, and I know Silver Stock Analyst is different from all the other publications because the gold industry is relatively easy. You produce gold, you sell gold. Whereas the silver industry, when you produce silver, you're producing a lot of other base metals. Silver comes as a byproduct along with lead and zinc and gold. And all silver miners, they report their cash costs and all sustaining costs differently. And you look at some miners, and it appears as if they're strongly profitable, reporting low cost. But if you actually do that on an apples to apples basis, convert everything to a silver equivalent and convert their costs into a silver equivalent, you can see that a lot of the silver miners are unprofitable at lower silver prices. So, I convert everything into an AG equivalent, and then I compare everything. I try to get as much free cash as I can, or NAV, versus for enterprise value, which is the stock price plus debt. So you try to get as much free cash as possible for the littlest amount to pay that you want.
Okay, so Garrett, when you're choosing amongst all the silver miners, what do you look for?
There's three particular things that we look for. Number one is management, the people running the project. In the industry, that we've been following for a long time, we see that it falls into two classes. You get value creators and value destroyers. One of the largest capitalized silver companies that's very well known, its share price was $300 a share in the late 90s. Now it's $3 a share. It's down 97% over the past 20 years. That is a value destroyer. We see it over and over again. They sell shares, they dilute the shareholders, and the share price goes down. You need to find miners and executives that are invested in the company along with you, that equity shareholders that know how to build value. Keith Neumeyer, First Majestic, does a great job. Eric Fear, Silvercrest Metals, has done an amazing job. And an interesting story regarding this is, Silvercrest Mining, Eric Fear's previous reincarnation, that got taken over by First Majestic, released the stock stub. And first, Silvercrest Mining was one of the Silver Stock Analyst picks at that time. So all of our subscribers were shareholders. They got a share dividend, and that became Silvercrest Metals. And Silvercrest Metals went from 10 cents to $10. That's 100x return. That's 10,000% over the past few years. So all the Silver Stock Analyst subscribers, were along for the ride, and they enjoyed it. It's one of the greatest returns we've had.
Well, that's the battle, is finding the stock that can give you that kind of return. But it's one in how many, Garrett?
It's like picking which tree is going to get hit by lightning.
Yeah, and you have some good picks in your newsletter, Garrett. Last thought, you talked triple digit silver. What's really the possibility of that? I mean, look at us struggling here. We're still halfway away from silver's original all-time high of $50. So, how do you see us getting from this price point, as we're speaking right now, we're still sitting around $23 an ounce, to over $100 an ounce?
You know,
Good question. This is the question that I'm always asking these people on my channel when they are putting different comments on there saying that silver is going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars per ounce, even thousands. So let's see what he has to say.
a lot of guys, like Keith, right? Newmeyer, the CEO of First Projections,
Right.
has been $100 silver. And, people have mocked him, but, I
Me being one of them.
appreciate him standing up for the silver industry, and it's going to happen. In 2008, we had the crash, right? The Fed put in, the Fed's balance sheet grew by $1 trillion. It went from 1 trill to 2 trill. Now, this recent crisis, the Fed's balance sheets have gone from 4 trill to 7 trill. That's 3 times the stimulus. And back in 2008 through 2011, silver went from about $10 to $50. So now we have 3 times the stimulus. It's gonna get larger, and also, in order to keep the rates low, the Fed's gonna be buying all the debt. Their balance sheet is gonna go through the roof over the next few years, and that's what we see silver really tied to. And $100 silver it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of when, not if.
All right, Gary Goggin of the Silver Stock Analyst.
Okay, so they say when, not if. A little bit of skepticism still, however, the fact with the Green New Deal, also that second and possibly even a third stimulus package down the road, all these things kind of point to the possibility of higher silver. Whether it's triple-digit silver, though, in the next few years, obviously nobody really knows. A lot of people, especially these experts and analysts, they all believe that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, etc., so on and so forth. So we shall see. But what can you be doing to prepare for that? You should have some cash put aside right now that you are going to be putting towards purchasing your precious metals. I do think that right now silver is a good opportunity, regardless of the election, to cause precious metals surging. Should you buy now? Yes, you should, but within reason. Make sure you take your budget into account. And, I'm always saying people should be buying. And I just want to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, I'm the Stacking Stormtrooper. Check out these videos. Until next time, long live the Empire.